Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey folks, I'm going to be coming back to Retro Game Con Spring Edition, taking place at the Odd-Center Convention Center up in Syracuse, New York from May 16th through the 17th. I'm going to be there all weekend as a regular attendee, and I'm going to be going as both versions of Barbara from Genshin Impact, which is her as a ballerina on Saturday, and in her regular Deaconess outfit on Sunday. Go to RetroGameCon.com/RGC Spring for more details and information, and if you see me there all weekend, then by all means come on up to me and say hi. Hope to see you there. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and, well, I'm glad to see that you actually waited until an hour later for, of course, the second thoughts video on the exact same day for sure, so yeah, good to hear pretty much on that front, and like I said, it's pretty much my Mother's Day treat for all of you guys, hands down, So yeah, I guess that's probably what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, with that being said, if you may recall, pretty much from the last thoughts video that I did on Mortal Kombat 2, I actually did get myself in for, of course, a double feature this time around, and yeah, that, of course, means I actually saw not one, but two movies on the exact same day for sure, and yeah, I guess that's what I can say, of course, that front. So I guess it's after what I've actually been through, pretty much talking about Mortal Kombat 2, which actually was pretty good, hands down. So yeah, I guess I do need an excuse to talk about this movie, since after seeing Mortal Kombat 2, which I actually do surprisingly like, hands down, and I'm glad I did, hands down. So yeah, I guess it's after seeing Mortal Kombat 2, after seeing Mortal Kombat 2, I've actually decided to follow that up with, of course, another movie that came out the exact same weekend for sure, so yeah. And I guess in regards to today's movie we're going to be talking about, well, this is going to sound a little crazy for me to say this for sure, but I guess the movie I'm going to be talking about here today, how do I put this? Yeah, I guess, how about pretty much this latest movie we're going to be talking about is basically a murder mystery that centers around a group of sheep. Or I guess in this case, a flock of sheep. Yeah, a flock of sheep actually solving a murder mystery. I know that sounds crazy, pretty much hearing that come out of my mouth for sure. But trust me, this is real. And legit, hands down, for a whole premise of a movie from what I can gather, but yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front for sure. And boy, I've really got a lot to say, of course, this one for sure, so So yeah, but in case you're actually quite curious, hands down, I think we might as well get ourselves pretty much strapped in for sure as we talk about another movie that I got to see as part of my double feature today, which is none other than The Sheep Detective. So yeah, that is of course what we're going to be talking about here today. It is of course the latest film that just came out not too long ago, and boy, I've really got a lot to say of course this one for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say of course that front. Alright then, well, I guess before going into this movie, hands down, honestly, I actually didn't know much about this one from what I've actually seen by far. In fact, pretty much of anything, I didn't know about this movie up until very recently, hands down. How, you may ask? Well, surprisingly enough, pretty much just a long time ago, hands down, one of my friends and fellow collaborators who has appeared in most of my videos on my YouTube channel, Delmar Mullins, actually shared with me pretty much the trailer for that Sega movie, hands down, and well, I guess to be honest, from what I could gather, when I saw the trailer, hands down, I didn't know what to make of it when I actually saw it, and I just felt it kind of looks a little too generic from what I've actually seen, hands down. So I guess pretty much of anything, it almost looks like one of those movies that I really don't have much interest in for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So I guess pretty much of anything, I assume that I would pretty much brush that movie off and not actually plan on seeing it, hands down. But as time went on, and I actually pretty much heard that it's been getting some really good reviews from critics. I mean, like, really good reviews, hands down. Yeah, I think I somehow pretty much learned about it more, and I suddenly said to myself, okay, this is actually quite interesting. Maybe I should check this movie out. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. And hey, I guess on the bright side, I guess it is a good opportunity for me to see this movie as opposed to Angel Studios' adaptation of Animal Farm. I mean, come on, we all have much better things to do rather than seeing the recent Animal Farm movie, hands down. So yeah, I guess as part of my double feature following up to Mortal Kombat 2 for sure, I of course got myself settled in and of course got to see this movie as part of my double feature. All thanks to everyone at Crown City Cinemas as always for letting me do that. And well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I'm not gonna lie when I actually say it. I actually really enjoyed this movie for what it is. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I actually say it. I'm not making this up in the slightest. I guess pretty much of anything, I knew from the trailers, I thought it was going to be pretty much a generic and boring mess of a movie from what I've actually seen. But after seeing the movie in its entirety, I actually thought of the exact opposite, hands down. I really do think this movie is pretty much a delightful and yet charming movie that I really got myself investing in, hands down. So yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind that I highly enjoyed this movie for what it is. I think it gave me pretty much exactly on what it was delivering, hands down, and it actually gave me pretty much a great time nonetheless. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Yeah, I guess I'm done with that, So yeah, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and And yeah, I think from what I've actually seeing the story for, of course, this movie, I really do think it is actually structured out quite well from what I've actually seen, and really actually pinpointing on everything that goes on throughout the course of the entire movie for what it is, and really got me invested and yet intrigued with, of course, where it was actually going, hands down, to really get myself in for one hell of a interesting time for sure. And I really do think it really did deliver, of course, that front for sure. Yeah, it took an idea that may look bad on paper for sure, but actually gave off some really great execution nonetheless. So yeah, I guess pretty much from what I've actually seen, I really love what they did with the story for, of course, this movie, hands down, and I am really impressed with, of course, the way it's actually structured out for sure. And of course, pretty much the writing, I have to say, that too alone is also done pretty well, as of course, I really do think it is actually crafting out quite well from what I've actually seen, and I can tell they really putting a lot of hard work and effort to really let the writing of this movie be absolutely great for sure, and yeah, it did deliver on that quite well from what I've actually seen, So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure, and yeah, the comedy, I have to say, well, I guess if there's one thing that I do find fault within this movie is that the comedy in this film, well, I mean, it's not bad per se, but it's not actually great. I mean, yeah, I think they could have done a whole lot better with the film's comedy. Yeah, if they want to land some really funny jokes that I do think work quite well, and yeah, some of them I really do think are actually done quite nicely for sure, but I don't know, I think I personally find the film's comedy, I have to say, well, I mean, it's not bad from what I can gather, but I really don't think it's anything to write home about all the way, but I think they could have maybe utilized the comedy in a much more clever way, kind of like, let's say, Project Hail Mary actually did beforehand for sure, but I don't know, maybe I'm just nitpicking from what I can gather, but either way, I don't hate the film's comedy. I know there are some jokes that did get a good laugh for sure. In fact, some of them actually gave me a good chuckle, but I do think it could have been worked out a whole lot more for sure, So yeah, but regardless, I really love what they did with the previous two aspects from what I can gather, and yeah, they did deliver on what they actually did to really get me in for such a great time for sure, and really get me intrigued on, of course, the whole mystery that the movie is actually showcasing for sure, and it delivered on that quite well, So yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that we actually got those aspects out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things that I need to talk about for sure, to which next up is, of course, the characters, and yeah, I guess pretty much from what I've actually seen, I really do think the characters in this movie, I really do think are actually a really great set that they actually got for sure, and yeah, they are actually developed very well in my opinion, that I really got myself really invested all the way for sure to really make them likable and interesting, and they really did deliver on that quite well. I'm really impressed with from what I've actually seen with, of course, the characters and, of course, this one, and yeah, I do find myself rooting for them all the way from what I can gather for sure, So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure. Now, as for the actors that came aboard to play all these characters, Yeah, I guess pretty much of anything. I really love pretty much the way they got such a great actors for sure. They are casted perfectly from what I've actually seen, and they really gave off such really great performances that I really do think is actually very nicely done, hands down for sure. They really gave off a lot of hard-working effort to really actually make the characters pretty much who they are for sure, some of which on camera, while others behind the microphone, hands down, they really went all out with, of course, their performances all the way, and I do praise all the actors on board for giving their all, hands down, So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess I give it to what I've actually mentioned. I really love what they did with the characters to make them likable and interesting with such great development for sure. While for the actors that came aboard to play all these characters, they really gave off some really great performances that I really do think are actually really quite amazing for sure. So yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about for sure? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, So yeah, I guess for, of course, the next aspect that I should mention in regards to this movie, obviously enough, the production and designing, of course, of this movie, I really do think is actually outstanding for sure. And I really do mean what I actually say, hands down. I think pretty much the really great location scouting and brilliant set pieces they actually put together are actually really quite amazing for sure. And I really love what they actually did, hands down. To even the really great visuals and effects that really actually are actually quite nicely done for sure to really fit in well with, of course, the film's surroundings for sure. That yeah, I really do think is actually quite nicely done for sure. I can tell with those that I've actually mentioned for sure, they really went all out to really make it look great, hands down. And I'm really impressed with what I've actually seen, hands down. The look and the feel of course, this movie is definitely there, hands down for sure. And being also bright and colorful, hands down for sure. That I really do think is actually quite nicely done. And while on the topic of course, the visuals and the effects for sure, I will admit, the CGI from what I've actually seen in this movie, that too alone is also done really great, hands down for sure. I can tell they really went all out to really pretty much create and render the sheep that we've actually seen in this movie, and I'm impressed with what I've actually seen. You really do feel like all the sheep that you see in this movie are indeed alive and are really there, hands down. That I really do think is actually very well convincing, hands down. So yeah, I really love what they actually did with that, hands down, and I'm impressed with what I've actually seen. And not to mention for the fact that I really do love the way that they give them such a really great emotional reactions, hands down, to make them a whole lot more animated, hands down. That yeah, I will admit, I really do think works quite well, hands down for sure. Again, it is one of those cases where, of course, it is very well convincing, in my opinion, to really make me feel like the sheep that I actually see in this movie are really there and are actually alive, hands down. So yeah, I think that's what I can say, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, I really do love what they did with everything that I've actually mentioned in regards to the production design for, of course, this movie, and they really did a bang-up job, of course, all of those that I've actually mentioned. So yeah, and of course, the direction of this film from the film's director. Yeah, I will admit, I really do think the film's director really did a bang-up job with, of course, this movie as I really do applaud the hard-working effort being put into, of course, this one, and I really do feel like the film's director really is passionate about this movie, hands down, in order to make it work, hands down, and I'm impressed with what they actually did, hands down. And of course, the cinematography, I have to say, yeah, I will have to say, they really did a bang-up job with the cinematography in this movie, as it actually gave off some really great camera shots that I really do think work quite well for, of course, this movie for sure. And I'm impressed with what I've actually seen by far for sure. So yeah. And of course, the editing, I have to say, that alone is actually cut up really great, hands down. I love what they actually did with the film's editing, and it is absolutely outstanding with what they actually providing, hands down, especially matching quite well with the film's pacing, hands down, which that alone really does take its time to really flow everything out for sure. And yeah, I'm impressed with what they actually did with the film's pacing. It really is very well done, in my opinion, that I do think actually works quite well. So yeah, I guess with all those I've actually mentioned, that will get you the clear idea, of course, what I thought about of this movie in a nutshell for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so yeah, I think with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, overall, The Sheep Detectives, I will say, is indeed a very delightful and yet very charming movie, in my opinion, that I really do think is one of those good examples that it may look bad on paper for sure, but, of course, gave off some really great execution for sure, and that's pretty much why I actually got, hands down, a movie that may look bad for sure, but actually turned out really great, hands down. So yeah, I think with, of course, everything that I've actually mentioned, hands down, they really went all out to really make this movie work quite well, and yeah, they really did accomplish that quite well for sure, because, yeah, let me tell you, much like the main characters in, of course, this movie, you really got yourself really invested in, of course, the whole mystery, pretty much, that is, of course, laid down in front of you, hands down, and you would not rest until, pretty much, that mystery is officially solved, hands down. So yeah, and that's actually pretty much the key element in, of course, a really great mystery movie, hands down, to solve the mystery for sure. So yeah, I really do think they really did a bang-up job, of course, on that front, and yeah, like I said, I think they could have worked out a whole lot better with the film's comedy for sure, but that was just me nitpicking from earlier, hands out. But the rest of the stuff that I actually mentioned really is quite impressive, in my opinion, and I think he gave me such a great time for sure. So yeah, I think, I guess pretty much given to what I actually said, yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind, I do highly recommend this movie for sure. Yeah, I say this is actually one movie that is really well worth a couple of hours of your time, hands down, if that's something you really want to get yourself into, hands down, and of course I can make the argument, hands down, that I think this is definitely one movie that I not only think kids and parents would actually, kids and adults would actually watch it for sure, but I will say for all the parents out there, I say this is definitely one movie to show to their kids that, if they ever want to get into the whole mystery type of genre for sure. So So yeah, I guess to any parents out there and pretty much and you want to show your kids something who's actually getting into the whole mystery genre for sure, I say this movie is actually the one you can definitely show them hands down. So yeah, I really do mean that when I actually say it, and I'm not playing around from what I can gather. That's definitely my recommendation on that front in regards to this movie for sure. So yeah, if that's something you're actually looking into hands down, then yeah, I say The Sheep Detectives is actually a real great one to actually check out for sure. And I say you're going to be in for one great time for sure. So yeah, I think that's what I can say, of course, that front. I really enjoyed this movie for what it is, and I do think it is definitely one that is certainly well worth checking out for sure, So yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I guess it is quite fitting for me to give it this one for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna give the Sheep Detectives a really outstanding 9 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I really enjoyed this movie for what it is, and I really do think it is actually well worth checking out if you actually got the time, hands down. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything. And like I said, this is definitely something that I know kids and parents will actually watch and enjoy for sure. And yeah, I knew I had a great time actually seeing it for sure. And I'm glad I saw it and really enjoyed it for what it is. So yeah, and of course I owe my big special thanks to Delmar for letting me know about this movie hands down. And yeah, given to all of that, yeah, like I said, I'm glad I saw this movie for what it is, and I do highly enjoy all the way for sure. So yeah, and if it's something you're actually looking into, hands down, and if you are looking for a really great murder mystery movie that will give you such a great time, well, I guess pretty much, if anything, well, grab your magnifying glass and of course your flock of sheep and make your way over to solving a certain mystery to see this movie for yourself. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I might as well turn it over to you guys. What do you think of the Sheep Detectives if you actually see it for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoyed it and think it's a real great time and it's definitely well worth checking out, like what I just thought of for sure? Or do you think or do you absolutely hate it and think it's pretty much just a bland, generic kids movie that you as an adult cannot stomach through hands down? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just fine for what it is? Let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I'm quite curious to see on what you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and yeah, I guess it looks like finally got another double feature in the books, hands down. So yeah, so now that I finally got that out of the way, I'll be quite curious to see what I'll talk about next for sure. Not sure on when exactly I'll actually get around to it, but I do hope somewhere around later on down the road, I might actually be in for something really good, hands down. So yeah, I guess right up until the next movie I'll actually check out for sure. All I can say without a doubt is I hope all of you guys have a happy Mother's Day. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD and Sam Shepard. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyattackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the ThomasFan1, SamAttack4427's Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and plenty more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.